that you're very familiar with on the podcast, my co host, Rob Stoddard, who is going to share with us a little bit about our amazing church outreach program and also a program called Five Stones. Welcome, Rob. How are you?
Hey, good, Karen. Glad to be
This is
here.
exciting, right? We're going
Yeah, this is a
live.
little
Woo!
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
love it.
Well, good. Well, Karen, most people know us for our software. That's what we've been doing for 23, 24 years. But at the same time, we've always produced resources for the church. Our role is really to come alongside the church, help them to understand and to deal with this issue. So we've produced resources that help them really understand the issue, but also how to help people in the church deal with this issue. This last year, we packaged all of those resources in a nice program we call Five Stones. It's based on the story of David, where he picked up the five smooth stones and slayed Goliath with that. Well, we see pornography in the church as a Goliath. And so we're providing those weapons, those resources to the pastor that he can attack this issue of pornography in the church. And so the Five Stones really focus on five of the key demographics in the church: things for men, things for women, things for couples, for families, and then also for leaders. Each of those are our main resource or offering to each. We have many, many additional things beyond that, which you can find on our website. But we've put all these together. There's a great picture of it, and so the leaders can get into there. They can order resources that they can have at the church, and so they'll be able to give out resources to men and women and couples and families, and really begin to attack this. And then too, through that, you can connect with us. We're always willing and always ready to connect and help leaders think through ministry in this area, develop ministry and a plan of attack on this. And so we bring a lot of experience and a lot of stories and strategies that we've seen and know that work at other churches. And so we can help with that. And it's all there available on our church leaders page on our website. And yeah, they can get started there. Anything
Yeah, I
else that I
love
can
it.
tell you about that?
No, I love it. And Rob, this program it really is helpful because we've packaged this in a way where pastors, we know that they have so much on their plate, right? And we wanted to make this easy for them to engage and to roll out with the different people in the church. And so just for let's go through some of these resources. We've got Strive. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about Strive? Currently, we have New Fruit, but that is about to be replaced with something very special, which you can bring up in just a second here. And then we've got Restored Vows, Equipped. And then for our leaders, there is a resource called our Leadership Planning Workbook. And I'll let you talk a little bit about that. But let's dive into each of those resources so that our listeners can get a better idea of what's included in this amazing package.
Yeah, so start with Strive. That is a free resource for men. It's a 21-day resource. Guys sign up with just an email, and it takes them through 21 days. They get an email and some information for that day, 10, 15 minutes worth of work. But it takes them through great education of why they need to get this out of their life, what kinds of problems this is causing, covers things like the brain science behind pornography and the triggers. But the one thing it does, it really helps guys begin to understand the steps that they need to take to begin to get this out of their life. Look, it's not going to solve all the problems in 21 days. It's really designed to get guys started with understanding how to get this out of their life. And then it leads them to really what is next. Beautiful thing about this, we've had over 77,000 guys use Strive over the last few years. So we know it's reaching a group of guys that just need a start. They need some help getting started. The second one you mentioned, in place of New Fruit, we have a new women's resource coming out just in a few weeks called Arise. It's a companion or a sister resource to Strive. Does the same thing. It's a 21-day resource for women who are struggling with pornography, because we know that's one of the largest growing demographics in terms of struggling with pornography. But yet there's just not a lot of resources out there for women. So Arise, does the same thing that Strive does. Takes women through just a great resource education of how to begin to get this out of their lives and the hope that they need to move forward. Restored Vows, that is a resource for couples. It's a 14-day video series couples can go through this together, often pre-counseling, or maybe as they're going through counseling, but it helps them work on this issue if they're struggling in their marriage. It's done by a couple who had this struggle in their marriage, actually almost lost their marriage over this. They tell their story, so it's very relatable, and really just helps them begin to know what to talk about and what things to work on. But again, gives them that hope of how to move forward, and that they can recover from this. And then the fourth one there is one of our 3 parent ebooks. This one's called Equipped. We have a series of 3 of those. It really just helps parents begin to know how to protect the home, and takes them through great resource of just what to think about, what to look at, the issues that they're going to face. The other 2 are Connected and Confident, which helps them with how to have those conversations with family and be transparent about this issue. But also, if our kids are exposed to pornography, how do we handle those conversations? How do we move forward? And then lastly, but not least, is our Leaders Workbook, and that's designed for the church. It's really a simple workbook that they can walk through as a leadership team and evaluate what they've been doing about this issue of pornography, looking at all the steps that they've done and challenging them to really begin to design additional ministry and see where the shortcomings are and where they need resources, where they need help. And we're, of course, available to come alongside and help with that. But a great tool to get started. It's not on here, but it's earlier in the page. We also offer out our the Healing Church book, which was written last year by Sam Black, one of our presenters today. And that book is a great tool also for church leaders, really helping them understand this issue of pornography in a much deeper level, but also how it's affecting the church and how it's affecting different demographics and leaders. But more importantly, how and why do churches need to dig into this issue a little bit more, and how do they do that? And so all of those things are there on the website, and a lot to take in, but we're there to help.
I love it. And I think the really exciting part is that Covenant Eyes is so committed to serving the church that, they have access to work with you on building a program. So, we can get them resourced with 5 Stones. And if they want to go deeper or they want to take things to a new level, they can actually reach out and directly contact you, and you can walk alongside of them, which I think is beautiful. You're not going to see that everywhere on the internet, where you can actually reach out to a real caring human being that can actually equip and educate the church leaders so that they can better equip the people in the church. Well, Rob, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about 5 Stones and our Healing Church resource, because those are super important to our church outreach. I want to now bring in our next guest, who works on the Catholic Church side with a program that we like to call Safe Haven Sunday. And we've got Theo joining us. Theo, can you give everybody a quick shout out? Tell them a little bit about your work here at Covenant Eyes and what you do.
All right. Well, this is very exciting. How are you today, Karen?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm excited. I love having my team on here to share all the amazing stuff that you guys are working on and how you're helping the church conquer this issue of pornography.
Well, I really loved Rob's presentation. So, Safe Haven Sunday is our program for the Catholic Church. And what we do is we equip parishes to address this issue of pornography at the church-wide level. In the Catholic Church, priest surveys often say that this is the most number one confessed sin in the confessional. And so we need to do something proactive. And so what we've come up with Safe Haven Sunday is an excellent resource for that. So ideally, we want to get whole dioceses on board, but whether it's an individual parish or an entire diocese, the idea is that a parish or diocese that commits to hosting Safe Haven Sunday will dedicate the homily, or at least a portion of it, to the issue of pornography. And then they will hand out either digitally or hard copies of our parenting books and other resources, much of which were just talked about by Rob, after Mass and in the church gathering area. In 2024, we had about 20 different dioceses participating in Safe Haven Sunday. And so right now, we are definitely doing what we can to grow the program.
That is exciting. Thank you for sharing a little bit about Safe Haven Sunday. And I think the really cool thing about Safe Haven Sunday is, again, It's a tool for our ministry leaders. It helps kind of ease some of the burden of talking about a topic that is so hard to talk about in the church. And it really makes it an easy to roll out program. The Safe Haven Sunday program is just packaged up. You provide just about everything a church or a diocese needs to roll this out. Talk to us a little bit about what's included in this amazing program.
We have done so much of the front work that literally all a parish or a diocese have to do, if they want, is take what we've written and insert it into what goes to the people. We've written letters on behalf of the bishop to the priests. We've written letters on behalf of the priests to the parishioners. We've put together some great social media, a whole social media kit that can be used on all the parish's social media pages to let people know in advance that Safe Haven Sunday is happening, which is a very important component of this. We have written blurbs for bulletins, and that's just a few different things. We've written ads for diocesan and newspapers. We've even written out a set of general intercessions or prayers of the faithful that can be used at the Mass that Sunday.
It's awesome. Well,
So that's a lot of stuff, and that takes a lot of work off of the pastor, off of the parish staff.
it is. And the other thing that's nice is that just like on the the non-Catholic side of the church, we have someone dedicated to serving the Catholic Church, and they have access to reach out to you, Theo. You can walk alongside them. You'll help them, equip them, get them set up, and help them roll this out in either their parish or at a diocesan level across all the parishes, correct?
Absolutely, and that's a big part of my job, and it's a part of my job that I love, is that I can walk with the marriage and family life director of the diocese, the various pastors of parishes, in rolling this out, in bouncing ideas as the homily gets prepared and talking. That's my job, and I'm very happy to do it. I think we talked about the 3 different years, but as you see on the screen here, 4 different years, excuse me. The first 3 years are really dedicated to helping parents protect their children, and the last year is dedicated to really helping adults and advertising our various programs. Again, Rob talked about a lot of them, but I mean, we're very excited about this program, and we're very excited about the ways that we're going to get it to grow in the years ahead.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for sharing all this information. And if you are interested in learning more, we will have some contact information so you can reach directly out to Theo or to Rob, and they will get you started. We'll make sure that you get well equipped. With that, we're going to move into another area that we are super excited to share with our listeners today, which is talking to the author of the Healing Church book, which is Sam Black. This is a book that is so profound. It really has been well received among church leaders and others. And Sam, I want you to talk a little bit to our listeners about what is the Healing Church, why you wrote it, and how people can get their hands on a copy of the Healing Church.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Appreciate you having me here today. And it's always so much fun to work with you and Rob on just about anything. I just really enjoy that. I wrote the Healing Church really to pastors and ministry leaders, an empathetic guide to help give them guidance. I interviewed more than 70 pastors and ministry leaders to write the book, to learn what churches were doing well. You know, it's one thing to say, hey, things aren't going perfect, but what is going well in the church? How are pastors and ministry leaders addressing the issue of pornography well in their local church? And so also got to review more than 70 studies and other materials for the book and researching it. And again, the whole purpose of the book is to help pastors, ministry leaders understand more deeply about why men and women say, I wonder how I got stuck. Why do I seem to stay stuck? And how can I begin living in real freedom, ongoing freedom, not this temporary I'll meander through it day by day, but living in Christ's wholeness. And so we want to equip pastors and ministry leaders to help guide that process well.
That's awesome. And I did put up on the screen here for everybody that is watching this live stream, we've got a page dedicated to learning more about the Healing Church. And the nice thing is that if you actually visit our church webpage on our covenanteyes.com website, you can actually request, if you're a ministry leader, a priest, pastor, you can actually request a free copy of this book by simply filling out a form on our website. And we want to get this in your hands. And the reason for that is that we believe that this is profound. It is groundbreaking information. It is 25 years of Covenant Eyes expertise pulled together by the amazing Sam Black in a way that makes sense and helps pastors and leaders unpack the issue of pornography and how it's impacting every single ministry in the church. Sam, thank you so much for sharing with our listeners. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the people listening to this live stream today?
Well, no, Karen, if people don't want the free copy, if you're a ministry leader and you don't want to, and you want to make sure you pay for it, just go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble. It's got 5 stars on there, and you can pay full price for it. Or if you prefer, as a ministry leader, you can click this link.
I love that. So yes, I mean, if you'd like to pay for it, we would appreciate that as well. But thank you, Sam, for sharing. I thought it was awesome. Well, with that, I think that brings us kind of to the end of today's segment. We wanted to just give you a quick preview of some of the different things that we have got going on here at Covenant Eyes. We are always innovating. We are always creating the best in class resources. One thing that I don't think we mentioned that I think needs to be mentioned is actually our Victory app. If you have not checked out the Victory app, and Sam Black, I might want to bring you back just for a quick chat on the Victory app. I love what you're doing in the Victory app. So we have got the best in class recovery-based counselor reviewed resources in there. Can you talk to our listeners a little bit about the Victory app, how they get access to it, and what's in there?
Well, what's so cool is the Victory app is free, and you can download it from any of your app stores. Once you sign up for it, you can also have a web version. But there's nearly 40 courses in there. They're all free that help you understand, how did I get here? Why do I seem to stay stuck? And how can I begin really living in Christ freedom? And so it is unapologetically a Christian resource. And once you sign up, you get a free account. You can begin doing a check-in. You can begin participating in a community with others. I mean, there's so many rich resources and activities that you can do within there. It's just fantastic. And again, it's free. You get and all of our interactions, all of the courses and materials within that course have been counselor reviewed. You know you're getting the very best resources that you can.
That's amazing. Thank you, Sam, for sharing that. Well, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this segment. We just wanted to give a quick shout out to the different areas within the company that are focused on serving the church and providing programs and resources. And as you can see, Covenant Eyes is 100% committed to helping equip Christians in the USA with conquering this issue of pornography. And we're really putting our money where our mouth is, because these resources that we shared with you today are free and they're easy to get access to. So please take a few minutes and check out the links that we shared with you. If you have any questions, you can always visit our website at covenanteyes.com, and you can reach out to our team. We are always available to help in any way that we can. We want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Covenant Eyes podcast live version, and we will be back with you again in the near future. Also, as a reminder, September 11th, we are going to be launching the amazing new program called Arise. You do not want to miss that program. It comes out on September 10th. It is going to be an exciting day here at Covenant Eyes. We are just incredibly excited to roll this program out for women all over this nation. So thank you. Take care. God